Hey guys, Kenny with First Coast Metal here with Legion's Blind. I just want to get everybody introduced. We have Justin. Justin, why don't you introduce yourself?
You already did. No, I'm Justin. Rhythm / lead guitar, backing vocals, shade maker, and just all around fucking badass.
Yeah, sounds about right. How about you, Brian?
Brian, rhythm guitar percussionist, and not badass.
Don't sell yourself short on that, man. Come on now.
He's a pretty ass. Look at him.
I beg to differ.
Yeah. Then how about you, Christian?
My name is Christian. I'm the lead singer, songwriter, guitar player on some songs when Raina gets to sing. Amazing vocalist, but yeah, that's who I am.
Then the ladies, how about you?
I'm Ariana. I am the bassist / backing vocals. I fake it till I make it. And I'm Raina. I'm the drummer and I sing sometimes. Yeah.
So how did you guys come up with the name Legion's Blind?
Well, actually, Christian wears glasses and Raina wears glasses, and I also wear glasses, and none of us can see without them. So we're just blind idiots.
My glasses! I can't see without my glasses!
My glasses! I can't be seen without my glasses!
Jinkies!
We are a legion of blind people.
Makes a whole lot of sense now.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
And actually came out like after a long argument between some of the original founding members. So one of our founding members was actually George Whitaker. He played guitar.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Aaron Dreyer and Raina. Aaron Dreyer played bass and Raina played drums, and George Whitaker. That was actually our founding lineup. And we argued over text for months over a band name, and honestly, Legion's Blind was the only one we could all agree on. That's how we came. The name was like, that sounds pretty cool, because like we threw out different ideas here and there. One person had an issue with this, one person had an issue with that, and then finally, I don't remember who exactly. I don't want to take the credit, but I think I came up with the name Legion's Blind.
I think it was you.
So the other question I have for you is, what are some of your musical influences?
So it's kind of nuts how everybody here came from different backgrounds, but we all ended up in the same place. So I was raised on like 80s hair metal, some 80s thrash, so early Metallica, some Slayer, even Pantera. I know we're moving into 90s era there, but Cinderella, Rat, Motley Crue, all that kind of stuff is what I was raised on. And then as I progressed through my musical journey, I started finding stuff in metalcore. Personally, we were just listening to it in the car on the way home right now from where I was at. And like Bullet for My Valentine absolutely slaps. As I Lay Dying, even though they have weird history and all that kind of stuff. So early metalcore stuff really seeped in. Even Avenged Sevenfold coming through with their self-titled album and the Backcountry album, that kind of stuff really stuck with me. And I felt like the mixture between the clean vocals and the screams was actually very impactful and very emotional. So I try to like intricate that in there, where we actually have clean vocals as well as harsh screams are very modern metal. But if you want to go back to my like roots, it's all 80s, but I love the 80s.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I grew up on everything as well. So like, like you said, 80s, 90s, and mostly like old school 70s and 60s, because my mom's into Motown. So, I learned from that, and then I kind of like dug even further and, just got into the whole broad spectrum of like where guitar noises came from. Like, what is it? Chuck Berry, from like the mid 50s and then onward. So,
yeah, you have to appreciate those early pioneers of their instruments, whether it be, I'm a guitar player and I'm a vocalist. So like those are my two mains. So you look at a lot of vocal pioneers, and then you look at those guitar pioneers, and Chuck Berry's one of them. You even go back to the 70s and you're listening to Deep Purple and forgot the name of the band. That's so bad. UFO. Yeah. UFO.
They're great.
They bred that early sound of almost hair metal, but still classic rock. And it's really a great sweet spot if you really can appreciate the pioneer aspect of that. Of they were doing this before anybody.
Yeah.
Me and Ariana kind of have the same musical influences from Avenged Sevenfold. We grew up in two kind of very different households, very different. Where she was more of the grunge, Pearl Jam, Creed kind of household,
Oh, yeah.
but mom
Early
was
90s.
like that bubblegum pop kind of stuff. Whereas my mom was Slayer, Metallica, Pantera kind of things, and I grew up listening to Tool and pop kind of stuff. Whereas my mom was Slayer, Metallica, Pantera kind of things, and I grew up listening to Tool and fucking. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You can swear. It's all good.
Fuck yes.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I grew up, like she said, very, very grunge related. Like I like a lot of like bluesy, funky kind of vibes.
The dark kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the band that got me into music was Nickelback. Yeah. Which is kind of, it's whatever, but like.
Jess is like, I don't know you.
I really love Nickelback. So my dad's a drummer, and I watched him play Animals, and he had like an electric kit where he was doing double bass with like 1 foot and compensating with toms, and I just thought it was the coolest shit. And I would sit on the floor and just watch him play for hours, and I was like, that's it. I want to be a musician. Yeah.
That's awesome. How about you, Justin?
I grew up listening to a lot. My stepdad introduced me to a lot of like the same things that Christian was into, like some of the old '80s hair metal, a little bit of Deep Purple. My mom listened to a lot of pop, like '80s pop and country music back then. And then when I first decided I really wanted to be in a band or just play guitar, I got into. I heard Ruby Soho by Rancid.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then bought the album Out Come the Wolves. It's the top 5 in my album all the time. I still listen to that album all the time. But just the raw energy and the raw emotion of like punk rock. So started playing guitar and started kind of along the lines of Christian, just getting more and more into stuff that like anything that shows any kind of emotion, Amity Affliction, something me and Brian share. Listened to Avenged Sevenfold for a little while. Actually, if you haven't heard it, T-Pain has a brand new album out. It's all cover songs. It's fucking amazing. Oh my god, it's so good, really good. That first track, he just belts out this fucking. It's amazing. It's like old school Motown soul, dude. It's incredible.
How about you, Brian? Do you have any drummer influences that you want? I know, obviously, Neil Peart from Rush, right?
Actually, no, I don't like Neil Peart. He can go. No, I'm completely joking. Rush is my shit. Rush is absolutely. So it's kind of weird for me with the influence because me playing 2 instruments now, or having played 2 instruments in bands now, I've kind of pulled influences from different parts. Drum wise, it's always been. I say like the first real influence I had, the first album I learned front to back on the drums was Dead Letters by the Rasmus, which is a Finnish pop punk band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Picked them up, and then Cold, Stupid Girl really got me going.
Yes.
And then I started getting into Rush, Live. And then when I joined my first band, as much as I hate to say it, like what kind of really shaped my ability to play was the Metallica, Pantera, and Slayer covers that I did for 2 years.
Oh yeah, man.
I won't ever play them again, but like I'm very appreciative of what they got me.
Yeah, especially the musical background.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there, I moved into your metalcore, your deathcore, just any of the bands that you can think of. From there is where I went, starting with Slipknot. And then for guitar, it's actually a lot of my influences come from Justin. I don't know where he's at in the thing, but he's right below me here on mine. Justin's actually really influenced my guitar playing a lot with the bands that he's introduced me to. The main leg that he mentioned is Amity Affliction.
Yeah.
Very, very simple chords, but the guy knows what he's doing and knows what he can do with his toolbox on a guitar. So that and Architects is another one that I've been practicing a lot at home to try and help.
Do you guys know the band Trust Company?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of who you kind of like sound like to me as a local band. So
I can hear that.
yeah,
That's not bad.
I mean, I was just saying, like, you know, because early 2000s, it's like something you would hear in, like, you know, that Burnout game, like, you crash a bunch of cars and a bunch of other cars.
That's, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, that's stuff you would hear, like, in video games. That's what I, like, you know, think of whenever I see you guys live. So,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
so I was just curious, do you guys have any crazy fan stories that you guys would like to share?
So we recorded at or with Stan Martell, as a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And we decided at the time, gas was so expensive that we were saving money by renting a hotel and just crashing there Friday night, finishing up Saturday, coming home that night. So the first time that we did this, Christian and I, actually, this is two great fucking stories if I remember right. Christian and I check into this hotel. He's going to crash with me for the night. And we just walk in, and the front desk clerk was being super nice and super cool. And like, oh, you guys going to go out or anything? We're like, nah, probably not, you know, whatever. And she's like, oh, that's probably for the best. It's craziest shit happened. This guy, like, ran in here butt naked, got the key to one of the rooms from one of the maids that were cleaning up, locked himself in the room. Like 5 cops came in, followed him, and were like, where'd he go? And she was like pointing and like, he's fucking down that way. He's down that way. Apparently, while he was in the room, he threw a chair through a window. This is all fucking true, by the way. Threw a chair through the window, popped out, and hid it in the woods for like hours while the cops are just searching. That's just like step one of the story, right?
Literal manhunt. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Naked and afraid, baby.
There you go.
right. Homeboy was not going to jail, right? So
Is he naked?
we're like, because he was high on meth, I think. I don't remember
Probably.
if she told us that.
Definitely drugs. Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're like, well, what happened? Did they catch him? And she's like, yeah, they caught him like 6-8 hours later, something like that. The sun had gone down, right?
Mm.
And we're like, well, why was he running? And she was like, oh, well, he fucking murdered his girlfriend. I was like, what the
Wow.
shit?
Yeah.
And me and Christian are just like, our jaws on the floor, like, what the hell? When was this? We're thinking like 2 years ago. No, last week. Like, oh, that's why room prices are so cheap. And she's like, yeah, totally.
You get a discount too, right?
Yeah.
You casually
So-
mentioned this as people are renting a room from you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, listen, I was staying there.
Don't mind the
regardless.
caution tape.
Yeah.
Oh, we were out of money. That was the best place we could afford was the murder trial.
Right. Yeah. You should totally change the name from the Sleep Inn to the Murder House or something like that.
Yeah. There you go.
That was, if I remember right, that was the same weekend that we were recording a podcast
Is this
that never made it to air. Never made it. We went to record the next day. Me and Christian hadn't heard from either Raina or Ariana. They were staying in the same hotel, just a different room.
Mhm.
And we get to Stan's, and like they show up like an hour late, and Ariana's got a mask on her face, and she's like, I think my allergies are bothering me because I feel like shit. And I'm like, take your fucking ass home. You know, this was definitely like when the coronavirus pandemic was like slowing down, right? So that's like literally me and Stan were talking about how he had it and it was shitty, like the very day before. And so we're like, no, just go home. You don't really need to do anything. I'll do your bass parts. It's fine. So she leaves, right?
Right.
I think I stayed behind.
5 days later, Christian messages the group, hey guys, I've got the Rona.
Oh no.
A day after that, I feel like dog shit. I mean, dog shit. Like, I've had pneumonia and I've had the flu, and it was like pneumonia and the flu had a badass baby that was muscular and just beat the shit out of me.
Yep.
I felt like that.
Even
I
the
didn't even
Flintstones
feel
vitamins
like
won't
going
help
to
you.
take a test, so I have no idea if that's actually what happened.
Yeah.
So
It-
three
I
of
was
us almost died that weekend.
Oh, jeez.
tested.
So-
I was COVID positive.
Yeah.
No,
Well, hang on, because I can tag onto that too, which is kind of funny. That was about a month before I joined the band. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
The week I joined the band, the first show I was supposed to play with them, I couldn't because I got coronavirus.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
Right.
So
That
Ariana
weekend,
tried to kill us all.
that
No.
weekend, just to identify it to a song, that weekend was the weekend that we finished recording the music for Rocks.
Yep.
All her fault.
All her fault.
So I had corona.
Mhm.
I had the coronavirus before,
Mhm.
and I lost my sense of taste and smell. But for the most part, it felt like a really, really bad allergy attack. Like my sinuses were real bad. It didn't really affect me that horribly.
Mhm.
So this time around, I felt the same thing. You know, that it was just my allergies acting up because I get sick like 20 times a year.
Yep.
Every single time the seasons change or the pollen blows just a little bit, I am just very sick. It just happens. So I thought it was my allergies because it felt the same. And it turns out we got home the night we recorded the podcast. I was getting a really bad fever. I hallucinate when my fevers get real bad, and I was like, it's gonna happen. I can feel it. Like my fever's too high. We go back to the room. I took a really long shower, passed out. And then Raina was like, you need to take a test. So I was like, okay. I went to CVS. I got the test, and I tested so incredibly positive. And then she got coronavirus. She tried to kill me. No, she got
She tested so positive that the test actually exploded.
Yes, exactly.
Gave it to everybody else.
She
Yeah.
had the bad end.
The test was like, fuck this, I quit.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't know it was corona, or I would have never walked into that house because Stan actually ended up getting corona too, and I felt really
Oh,
bad.
no. Yeah. Well, that sucks, man. Yeah.
Those are crazy stories.
So, the next question I have for you is, wait, I just lost it. So what's the best advice that you've ever been given as a musician? Who wants to go first? Who can answer that?
I'll take it. It's easy for me. It's super simple. Practice.
Yep.
And I hated hearing it as when I first started as a drummer. I'd see these people when I was going to Guitar Center, replace my cymbals or replace heads or sticks or whatever, and I'd see guys just fucking around on a kit that were so much better than I was. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you get this good? And they all had the same answer: just practice, practice, keep playing.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until I had a little kid come up and ask me when I was doing the same thing that I had seen, and he said, "How did you get that good? How did you do this?" And I had to think about it, and the only answer I could say was
Practice. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good answer.
Do you guys have any different answers from that, or do you guys think it's all like the same?
So, Raina's actually been a huge support system for me when I first started music. I'm a really fast learner, but there's some things that are brought to, when we start, when like Christian or Justin, they come with a song, I struggle with it because it's a technique I might not have learned before. I get really frustrated because I'm not learning it as fast as I normally learn stuff. And I take that shit to heart. And Raina is really good about like helping me calm down and realize that like, hey, you're not going to be good at everything. Chill out. Stop trying to be a perfectionist. And I also have really horrible stage fright. The very first show I ever played with Legions Blind, I was facing the side the entire time. I couldn't look at the crowd. And that's because
That speaker's cool.
Exactly. But Raina gave me, and this sticks with me, and it will stick with me for the rest of my life, but she had told me to turn my anxiety into stage presence, because the crazier I look, the more people feed into that. And it might feel like I look insane, but it looks cool to others. So just turn the anxiety into a show. Turn it into energy. And ever since gotten a lot better with the whole stage fright problem.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I think the best advice I've ever gotten was keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, don't ever complicate things.
I think I told her that.
Yeah.
Legitimately, that's what I was to say is that one of the best pieces I've ever gotten was one of the reasons I really love this current lineup of this band, and we've been doing it for a while. I think all of us have been playing music for a while. And what I really love about this lineup is I have a tendency, especially when I'm writing guitar parts, to go over the top, right? Because I'm like, how do I make it better? How do I make it better? How do I make it better? And Justin has been one of the biggest people to tell me, like, hey, stop. It sounds good. And he's like, that's good. That's keep it simple, stupid. And like, as much as we want to throw in and maybe impress one guitarist in the back of the room with, oh my gosh, they used that technique, or they added a tapping part there, that's really cool, or they actually used this minor third instead of this major fifth, and that actually makes it sound good. It's like, most people aren't listening for that. They're listening if it sounds good.
Yeah.
So quit overthinking what you're doing 24/7, especially when it comes to your music. And to me, it's like, it's more than keeping it simple. It's more of trust yourself and your first instinct, and actually have confidence in what you're playing.
Yep.
That's kind of how I came around full circle with it, is have confidence in what you came up in the first with, because that's going to be your base idea, and that's what you're actually working off of. Do we also add stupid stuff in there sometime for ourselves?
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's really for us, because we're like, okay, that's really fun to play and really fun to think about. But at the same time, we're just kind of like, all right, let's keep it simple so we can still perform when we play live. And we're not sitting there with, like Ariana said, like stage fright of like, am I going to hit this note? Am I going to hit this run while we're playing? Like, yes, it's so fun to stretch our abilities, and it's so fun to think about the theory of it. And it's so fun to me personally. That's one of my favorite things to do, but Justin really has grounded me. And I think that's why this latest album that we recorded and all the new stuff that we're working on now is actually coming out so great and like very impactful to me personally. Like I can actually listen to this album. This is the first thing I've ever recorded that I can get into my car and listen to. And I really do credit that to Justin.
Oh yeah.
Guiding my songwriting and his songwriting as well, and everybody bringing everything to the table. I absolutely adore this band right now, especially with the lineup, especially with I have never felt more like I am making something I can be proud of.
Yep.
Same.
So, to the rest of the band, thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Absolutely. Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
You know, my story fucking sucks.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, it's a very short story. I went to back 2005. I think I went to. I was living with my band mostly, and I went to my singer's mom and stepdad's house, and stepdad still plays. He's a great dude. He's more into like the blues and like, you know, shit like that. And I started playing this riff I was working on that was in drop tuning, and he had never seen that. And he was just like, wow, that's fucking wild, you know? And it wasn't so much advice, like he was giving me advice. It was just like a passive kind of thing that I learned from him. And it was just keep having fun with it. Yeah, just keep having fun. Just keep enjoying it, and keep, you know, just maintain that passion. It's like, realistically, if you're not having fun and you're not enjoying it, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
Come see us on May 6th at Underbelly.
See? I was waiting for that. I was like, do you have any promotions coming up they want to share, or, you know, like stuff like that?
May 6th at Underbelly with Metal Militia and I don't remember the name of the band. Forgive me. It's the Pantera tribute band.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to seeing them. And Metal Militia's always been really great to us. So I always look forward to hanging out with those guys. And then we're actually playing a birthday party for a fellow musician and a guy that me and Brian were in a band with, Frank, for his birthday, Frankapalooza. It's going to be a great fucking time. And we might allegedly be shooting a music video there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Also, listen to the album, Spotify, Apple Music, any kind of streaming service. Even if you just want to go on YouTube, you'll find us on YouTube Music as well. Please listen to the album. I think we all went broke trying to record it, and if one listens to it, that it means the world to me. I know it means the world to the rest of the band. If somebody actually listens, appreciates, and breaks it down,
That's what it's about.
Your reaction video, it was actually really impactful to me because I was like, someone's actually taking their time to sit, analyze, think about, and see what we're doing. And that's really important to me because a lot of the reason I do music is I feel like people don't hear me a lot and they don't understand me. So when I play my music, that is very genuine form of me. And when somebody actually pays attention to that, I honestly take it personally. And it a lot to me. I know it means a lot to the rest of the band because they have put in so much time, effort, money, everything, all of it, blood, sweat.
Plus just that it was that you did it, man. I mean, we've known you for ever.
Oh yeah.
And it was really, really cool. So like if people see us at a show, they should definitely come talk to us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know I'm enormous and I'm kind of intimidating, but I swear to God, I'm just a giant teddy bear.
Yeah, same here.
Like we're all really friendly people, and we don't necessarily have fans, but we have kind of like an extended family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we take a lot of pride in knowing like everybody that comes to our show, and at least talking or at least trying to talk to everybody that's come to a show.
Yeah. I agree.
And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this and invite us here. We really, really
This
appreciate
is one of my passions in life, and I just want to continue to follow it. So, like you guys said, practice makes perfect. So, I'm practicing with everybody, So, yeah, man. Well, on that note, I'm gonna end the recording. So,